Hello all, and welcome to this evening's beer review, which I am going to dub the haircut beer review. Uh, I got a haircut, and other things happened too. I got contacted out of nowhere by a lawyer. Remember when I said my car got sideswiped and hit and run? Got contacted out of nowhere by a lawyer, and it's like, yeah, you didn't put it in an accident report. And it's like, well, I didn't know that they had filed after the fact, so I got a small amount of money. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. I got a win once for I got a win from God for once, you know. Anyways, what are we reviewing? Well, danger is I think we're kind of going to become the Hana Brewing review channel because I've been reviewing a lot of Hana beers. I don't even review all the ones they put out because I'm not really interested in reviewing. They put out so many that I can pick and choose, you know. So I can skip all their IPAs and everything, and instead focus on the styles I like. And this one is very interesting. I wouldn't know what to call it as a style. It is called Intertwined, and as you can see here, well, maybe not. Well, I'll just read it off for you here. And it's gold on pale here. Japanese style amber ale with Kamiakari rice. This is 5.2 ABV. And I just want you to look at this can for a little bit. And it is of an artist's rendering of a streetscape in Osaka. So yeah. So very reminiscent of Japan and also reminiscent of Japanese beer in that it has just absolutely lovely can art. And granted, it's a stick-on label, but a lot of local brewers kind of do that nowadays. I find it's just more cost-effective than making bespoke. I'm not sure what the printing process is on aluminum, but yeah, making stickers that go over it. Lovely can art there. And this one doesn't have the verbiage on it, so let me go and pull up the Untapped here. Japanese-style amber ale with Kamiakari rice. Osaka was an inspiration. A trip in 2018 with Chrissy opened our eyes to a world that was nothing but friendly. The power lines running like spider webs, intersecting in chaos, reminded me of Waialae Avenue and the Old Town feeling. On Kauai Ha'o Street, we have a similar set of power lines that we share with our neighbors, the Rice Factory. Shiori and her team have provided us with some of the most unique ingredients and best laughs. This Japanese-style amber ale features Kamiakari rice grown at the rice farm in Nagano. This brown rice contributes a nutty character that wafts away on the finish. We've been working with Shiori and her team for the last 3 years. It's safe to say that our shared business has become intertwined with our friendship. This project has been a long time coming, and we couldn't be happier with the results. This is best enjoyed with friends, family, and most importantly, Kamiakari Rice. Josh, co-owner / head brewer. Yeah. So yeah. Let me go and get back to my video screen here. So that explains why they've been doing a lot of, beers with rice added as a flavor adjunct. I guess they're right next door to like, a specialty rice supplier in the neighborhood, and so why not? So yes, let's already pour this out. Been letting this sit out for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. Get a little bit more flavor, a little bit more head. Oh yeah. So going to see if I can pull it back here. Yeah. Well, the light's not really getting through it. Let's see here if I can do this. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's kind of an amber copper color with a off-white to beige head. Kind of got a floral and earthy hopping and a very sweet sort of nose. Reminds me almost like mochi with that brown sugar filling of sorts. You know, when they mix like the azuki bean with brown sugar, kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Yeah. So nutty, sweet smelling. Onto the palate now, shall we? Mm. It's nice to have an amber ale that's not too hoppy for once. A lot of amber ales have just become too hoppy for me. For me, I want that malt forwardness. This has that definite malt and rice forward. Definitely takes you on a flavor trip here. So up front, sweetness, a very slight, almost charred slash roasted flavor. You know, like when you cook sugar. Hop bitterness comes in on the palate, right in the mids there. Very balanced. And almost like the top note in the mid to finish is very evocative of roasting rice or roasting brown rice. You know, like if you're making rice puffs or something. And then the long finish, yeah, that top note of roastiness kind of remains on the palate, along with some subtle, long-lasting hop bitterness, as well as just a ghost of sweetness. Mm. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't say like roasted rice, because that evokes when I say roast, people think of a much darker note. Instead, yeah, you know, um, it's not like a coffee roast, or it's hard to explain. People who eat a lot of rice will know what I mean. What really makes it for me is that sweetness, that kind of darker sweetness, just perfectly balanced by the hopping. Mm. Crushable and delicious. As it warms up, the sweetness is becoming more apparent. I think I should have just let this one remain a bit colder, which is kind of contra what you would think with an amber ale. I think the balance is a bit better on the colder side. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. This was a pretty nice beer. So this is an ale and not a lager, but it is interesting to note how much rice is becoming like a flavor adjunct for a lot of craft beers, and I am just here for it because I like it so much better than fruit adjuncts in most beers because it's just so much more subtle and nuanced um, when it's done right, of course. And there is that irony there with how in the start of the craft beer revolution that adjuncts like rice were kind of poo-pooed, but rice can have flavor, uh, and so why not use it for that purpose? I wish I could go and mail like some of these cans up to you know my mutual like YouTube beer reviewer friend, Japanese beer reviews. I think like I think he would really really appreciate these beers from Hanakoa. They're quite nice. They're quite nice indeed. Mm. So I leave you with the Osaka cityscape here, and if you get a chance to try this, definitely give it a shot. Again, Hanakoa does not really have like any sort of flagships that they keep year round. It feels like they really do release a new beer every week. I go to Tamura's and there's like a new one every time, and it's just like I'm happy for it because honestly, all the ones I've had have been like good to really good. So it's like, yeah, granted, I am not drinking. I haven't. I've only had a couple of their sours, which tend to be kind of on the expensive side, so I don't review them much. And I haven't touched any of their IPAs because why would I when they have so many, releases of styles that I actually enjoy? And yeah, so give this one a shot if you can. Uh, I have to say, I've really really dug this one. Some of you might find it a little bit leaning too much on the sweet side. Not me. I definitely like my amber ales being more malt forward, and that's just a difference in taste, really. Your mileage may vary, as I often say. And that, folks, is your beer review for this evening. Cheers.